And now for the next company to kind of surge through Godzilla Day, we have Super 7 coming out the gate with just
an avalanche.
An absolute avalanche of products. So we're going to go through this a little bit slowly, probably with the ones that people are most interested in talking about. So let's go on. Starting on the left, we've got Godzilla -1 Ultimate charging version up for pre-sale now. Ships early next month, December. And he's got the extended spines. These are newly sculpted, elongated, and they are glow in the dark. They glow blue in the dark.
Buying it. It makes me feel better. They're going to hate me for saying this over at Super 7, but I canceled my pre-order for the...
Oh, no!
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of what I was seeing in hand, but this, right now, I'm on board. I want it. It looks nice. I love glow-in-the-dark figures. It's a huge weakness for me.
So we've since heard that Toho has said, okay, if he's going to have the extended spines and he's charging up, he's not allowed to have a beam because it doesn't make sense. He doesn't look like this in the movie when he has the beam.
Oh, that's just a marketing strategy. They're just doing that for buy this toy stuff. That's when I first heard on Minus that his spines were going to do that. That's the first thing I initially thought of because it's all about that merch.
Mm.
Like the toys and the merch are a big part of if whatever we're talking about for Godzilla or even Toku in general. If they do a change like that, it's for the merch. So yeah, I understand why they're. Do I like it? No, I think it's dumb. But I get it. I kind of wish we would see a figure that would somehow have swappable spines, or even like a gimmick toy where, like, you know, you can press a button and spines, like, you know, shoot up and maybe light up or something.
I was actually thinking about that yesterday. Like, if you did something in like the Super Shogun Warrior scale, where there's room to put in like spring mechanisms, and lights, it would be a very expensive toy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to afford it, but man, I'd like looking at pictures of it.
Go to my friend's house and like look at theirs. The only, I guess, the affordable option is if something like Playmates got it and was able to do that, but they don't seem too interested.
Do you remember the Atomic Vomit G14?
Yes, yeah. Shin did a video on it recently.
I wish we would get more figures like that, and like Shin would be or not Shin, but Minus Goji would be perfect for that. Like, you know, just bend him over and the spines shoot up, and then stand him up right again, and the beam shoots out of his mouth, and the spines shoot back down into the body. Oh,
that would be really cool.
I'd be messing with that for hours on end. I used to just take that other one, and I'd just flip it for like hours on end. It's like, wow.
Well, it's just fun, right?
It is.
Yeah. Like, that would be a toy that is meant to be a fun toy and nothing else.
Yep.
And you would still get the people that are like highest sweep.
Yep. Because everything has to be compared to each other nowadays. You can't just have one line that is for this, and then you can't have another line as well. If they're for that, then we're for this. Everything has to be
in competition.
And that, I will say, that hasn't changed. That has never changed. It seems worse now because we have more lines. Like, we have Monster Arts, we have Haya, we have Super 7. But even rewind the clocks to before the Renaissance or whatever you want to call this new age we're in, you always had people that were fighting over, say, Trendmasters versus Bandai. That was a big one. Trendmasters was shit on nonstop during the, what was it, like 2000, early to mid 2000s to the 2010s. It was shit on a lot. There were certain Facebook groups that will just, they didn't want anything to do with Trendmasters. I have a friend, I'm not going to name him on here. He was in one of them servers, and he was super excited. He had gotten the Trendmasters 40th anniversary repaint set, which just has, like, you know, that burning Godzilla and everything.
Hmm.
He got chased off of that server.
Wow.
Because, yeah. So, and that was before like all this like modern like Haya and Super 7 and stuff. That was, I think it was after 2014, but it's still, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like this whole thing of the toy lines are fighting each other, it's just, it's nothing new.
It's same shit, different day.
It's same shit, different day.
Well, speaking of Trendmasters, on the right here we have Trendmasters. Well, okay, let's pull it back a little bit. We have movie poster version Space Godzilla Ultimates from Super 7. I think this is one that people have been crossing their fingers and hoping for a while. MM included among that. But I think it was ever since we got that Dark Horse Godzilla, people were like, okay, if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be Super 7. Because like Bandai could have done this in Monster Arts for any time in the past 10 years, and
Well, now they probably will,
now they probably will if they're like, oh hey, there's a market for this stuff.
Or we have a movie monster series.
Yeah, but here we have Ultimate's Space Godzilla movie poster version. Thoughts?
Getting it, buying it on Wednesday, can't wait. I've been looking forward to this possible figure for a long time. It's one I've been wanting since the line started. I mentioned this on the Hug Box, and I think it's an unpopular opinion, but I still stand by it. It looks better than the regular colored Space Godzilla. And I think that's because it's a toy. Like, it's a Space Godzilla toy. It's not the suit. Like, the dull colors, I just don't think look as good on this sculpt as the bright blues and the greens and the reds. But I'm also kind of fanboying here because I've been wanting this specific color scheme for a long time.
Because Ultimates has this sort of vision of like the ultimate version of the toys that you had as a kid, I think a lot of people haven't really gotten that vibe.
No.
Because like outside of Trendmasters, there hasn't really been anything like Ultimates in the past. Like there's nothing to get that nostalgia for. But then you slap the Trendmasters color on this sculpt, and all of a sudden it's like, got it.
Yep. Well, it's like the Dark Horse. The Dark Horse did the same thing. The basic G89, I know there's people that like it. It wasn't, like, when I saw it, I was like, eh. But then when we got that Dark Horse repaint, and it's that green and dark green, and it just looks amazing. Like, these figures don't look as good as they could if they would stop like trying to what's the wording I'm looking for? One for one the paint to the suit, opposed to like trying to make the kaiju's colors correct.
Like the film accurate versions
to a limit.
Well, it was Dark Horse, but it was also Blazing Godzilla. You were a big fan of Blazing.
Yeah, Blazing Godzilla, that's another great one. Love that one too.
Yeah, like I just did the video on mine, and like it's not an essential figure by any means, but it is fun. Like the colors are really nice,
and you can get a lot of cool poses out of these figures that you can't really get from Monster Arts. I mean, they can do these poses, but they don't look right doing them. It sounds weird when I say it out loud like that. Like, for example, I have my Blazing Godzilla on a shelf right now, fighting Destroya and the Megazord. And he's like, I have him like lean back with like a punch like that. Closed fist and everything. You can't really get a cool looking pose like that out of the Monster Arts, because the monsters in Monster Arts are like one per one, usually for what the suit is. They're much more film accurate. Meanwhile, these ones are toys. It goes back to what you're saying. Like, these are, you can tell they're meant to be played with. They're meant to be having fun with, on top of just collecting them. Like, if I had kids, I don't have kids, but if I had kids and they were getting to the age where they want to play with the toys, but they don't want movie monster figures anymore because they don't move as much. I don't want to give them a Monster Arts figure because, I mean, you can look at it wrong and it'll fall apart. You give a kid, like, a Super 7 they're gonna have fun with that.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
tell by holding it. If I would have had them as a kid, I'd have had hours of fun. My parents would have never seen me out of my room.
Yeah, and I do think that that's probably one of the biggest hurdles I find with Super 7 figures is that you kind of need to hold them in hand to get it.
Yep. Like
Right?
the Destroya is like bigger than the Monster Arts, but you can tell it's a toy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel cheap. Like it doesn't feel like a Playmates or a Bandai or anything. But when you just move it, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like, and it's not saying the Monster Arts feels cheap. It's not a toy like that.
Yeah.
It's a figure that you're supposed to like just put it in a pose you want, and then look at it on the shelf.
Yeah.
The Super 7 figures are just fun to pose.
Yeah. Yeah. If they were less expensive, I think people would be more open to them. It's just sort of the unfortunate reality of the situation that this is the price that they have to be.
I do think they're going in the right direction with their whatever that new line is. The
Super Kaiju, this one?
Yeah. See, those right there be great, right? I'm not getting them because I have enough Godzilla, Heiseis, and Mechagodzillas. But if they would take that line, even those two figures, and do like a Trendmasters color with them, or even something more crazier, like I was saying before, a camo colored Mechagodzilla, or golden, or anything, I'd probably get it. And I think that would, if they would do more than just Heisei monsters in it.
You know, following the Ultimates -1 and Space Godzilla, we also got a slew of other items. We got the Orange Glow Marusan top left. We got the foil trading cards bottom left. Top right, Dancing Godzilla 1965. Bottom right, we've got the Ultimates. I don't even remember the name for this one. It was like metallic. Yeah, green metallic, Japanese inspired. And then in the middle here, we have a brand new line from Super 7 called Fun Fun, which is inspired by Japanese soft vinyl. The figure itself is actually soft vinyl, which I didn't realize until about an hour and a half ago. And this guy in the middle actually sold out within, I think, 10 or 15 minutes of being... He's still up on the Godzilla store, I think, at the time that we're recording this, but this figure sold out really, really quickly, actually. Outside of the Ultimates figures we just discussed, are any of these speaking your language? You picking any of these up?
Real quick, the orange sickle Godzilla up there. Is it just like the white parts that glow, or did the orange glow too?
I think it's just the white parts.
All right, that's going to be a hard skip. I am going to try and get a couple of packs of the Godzilla cards. I'm not going to try and go out of my way to collect all of them, but I don't know. I haven't gotten packs of cards since Pokemon trading card game days.
Yeah.
So this might just be a little fun trip. The fun thing, I thought it was a Funko when I first saw it.
No, fun, not Funko. Fun.
It's sold out. Cool. It's not something that really speaks to me. Now, if they do a glow in the dark version, we'll talk. But
they will definitely get to a glow in the dark version.
Yeah.
Like 100. Brian Flynn loves glow in the dark. It's definitely happening.
Good. And then Dancing Godzilla, yeah, that's a must-have for it. I'm hoping they also do a glow-in-the-dark one of them, too. And then Metallic Shogun is just cool, I guess. I want my Ultimate Shogun Rodan and Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. One funny feature I just noticed here. Oh, hold on. One funny feature I just noticed here on the bottom foot of the Dancing Godzilla, he's got a peg hole for a stand, which is hilarious because I don't know how you would ever leverage that peg hole. One thing about the fun that I think is kind of neat is Super 7's origins started with making Godzilla vinyl toys. They worked with Bullmark back in the day to actually make different different figures in soft vinyl. And while the market now is pretty crowded, I would say, between Bandai, Mondo, now Spiral, all in the Godzilla soft vinyl space, it is kind of nice that they've returned to it in some capacity by making Godzilla soft vinyl again, even if this is not to everyone's immediate taste.
It reminds me a lot of the Bandai Creations did Tokyo. I think they're called Tokyo Vinyl, and they came out in like 2000. I think two. They did Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. Reminds me a lot of them.
It's like a nice cutesy release. I'm surprised it sold out as quickly as it did. And Fun from what I understand, is not going to be exclusive to Godzilla. So if there are any other properties that Super 7's working on right now that people are interested in, you might see those come into Fun as well.
All right, so that means Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Universal Monsters, Transformers, and G.I. Joe are all but confirmed.
I wouldn't say they're confirmed, but like Voltron, Power Rangers, you might see them.
What if they would do the Kaiju Megazord in Fun?
That would be fun.
But what if they didn't do anything else though? No Ultimate, just Fun.
Well, then that would just be like the biggest cock tease on the planet.
no fun.
Next up, we've got translucent versions of Mechagodzilla and King Ghidorah in reaction to celebrate their, I guess, 50th and 40th anniversaries, respectively. These are box lunch exclusives, and they are sold out on the website. They sold out very quickly. A friend on Toho Kingdom DM'd me and was like, "Do you know if they like just sold it through an initial inventory and we'll get more, or are they gone?" And I'm worried these might be gone. Not for me, but for the people who want them.
Yeah, I kind of did. I'm gonna guess they're mostly gonna be fucking scalped. I wish I could get them. Maybe I'll get the G-Store ones, but I really like the translucent ones. I thought the packaging looks a lot better.
Yeah, of the two sets, these are definitely the ones that I would have been more interested in.
Yep.
I thought the figures looked cool. I liked the card backs a lot as well. And hopefully there will be more. I'm hoping to chat with Brian soon, and I'll get to ask him. But as you mentioned, these were the G-Store ones as well. These are more Japanese vintage toy inspired. I don't know if they are direct references to existing toys, or if they are just meant to like capture the spirit of a vintage Japanese toy.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I actually thought when I first saw them, they glow in the dark.
I think that was a very fair assumption to make. Like off the bat, when you see that green, you're like, oh, that's good. Plastic.
That would look cool if they would if the green, the red, and the blue all glowed different colors.
Mm-hmm.
They have not done many figures like that.
Yeah, we've seen green and blue glow, but I think Kyle was mentioning that once you get like green is the most intense glow, blue is a little bit less intense, and then there's a pretty big gap between that and the next color. I don't remember what the next color was, but it might have been orange, but he was like, once you get to that point, it starts getting really weak.
Yeah, I have the Mondo Cherry Blossom Jet Jaguar that glows like blue.
Yeah.
Have it up on my shelf next to a old school, I think it's Mars-Son that glows. And the Mars-Son just lights up, while the Mondo right next to it glows, but yeah, it's nothing nearly like the Godzilla next to it.
So these are up on Godzilla Store for those who are looking to grab them. And then today we got announcements for not one, but two more blind box series figures. So here on the left, we've got the Shogun. It's Shogun Series 2, but it's overall the Series 4, I think, for Godzilla. So you've got the two Japanese-inspired ones in the back. You've got Burning Godzilla inspired here on the front left. On the front right, this is supposed to be Ghost Godzilla. And this is a timed Walmart exclusive. I think you can actually get it at walmart.com right now. All figures have the same rarity. You have a 1 in 4 shot of pulling them. There's no chase, nothing like that. But these will come to super7.com a little bit later this year. And then on the right side, we have our next Target exclusive line. This is the Metallic series. These are all inspired by metallic Japanese vintage toys. Gigan, G74, Mechagodzilla, 74, Megalon, and G57. What do you think of these?
Finally dusting off that 57 sculpt again. I'm not huge into blind box stuff, especially when they start costing more than $10. I like the Ghost Godzilla Shogun though. I might actually go for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the metallic ones look really cool though. The GFW colored Showa Gigan.
Yeah, that one looks really nice.
Yeah.
He's got the glitter. I can't tell if he's translucent. I don't. Anytime there's glitter involved, I think they are. I think they have to be. But yeah, the Gigan looks really nice. I believe that the G74, the orange one, is the Chase, which is fine. That's not the one that stands out to me in the series. I actually like how the G57 looks. That blue metallic is really nice. And then the metallic Metal Godzilla is fine. But I am kind of excited to get another Megalon.
The Megalon kind of reminds me of the Trendmasters for some reason. Like the Trendmasters Megalon has like a greenish color. You want me to go grab it real quick? All right, so here is the Trendmasters Megalon. So
Yeah,
just the greenish color and everything.
yeah. I mean, the greenish color is definitely like the only thing. I think the eyes are different color. The body accents are a little bit different.
Yeah.
But do you know if the Trendmasters was like, what was the inspiration for the Trendmasters depiction?
I don't know. I used to think the head looks like Octoman, which is like an old 70s horror movie, but I'm pretty sure that was not on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the basis of it was. I think they were just like Heisei-fying kaiju, kind of like what they did with Baragon and Anguirus and even Gigan, where they gave him bone claws opposed to metal.
To metal, yeah.
That'd be another cool one for a repaint. Yeah, I don't know if I'm really gonna go for many of these. Like I'm just not big into blind box stuff. Like even the monogram clips that I get, I don't buy them blind box because I just don't want to spend that much on possibly getting duplicates.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I like I like the blind box stuff. But it's just so difficult to get a hold of up here. Like these being timed Walmart is okay because they'll come to Super 7 directly later. But these ones on the right are only at Target. And we don't have Target, so
I have a Target here, so if I go there and I see these, do you want me to DM you?
Yeah, we'll have to talk about it for sure. Yeah.
I do know if you really like that Mechagodzilla though, CCP has a middle-sized Mechagodzilla that has a very similar color scheme.
Yeah, it looks cool. I don't really have too much need for like more Mechagodzillas in my action. I have so many at this point.
Would you go for the Mechagodzilla 2 75?
Maybe if it looked different enough. But there's also the half transformed Mechagodzilla that they did, and they've never repainted it since.
No glowy, no repaint. Maybe Toho didn't like it.
Maybe. There's a couple that have sort of
we never got a Minya repaint.
He was in silver screen, but he looks basically the same.
Yeah, but we never got even a glowy Minya.
Yeah, there was no glow Minya. There was no glow half transformed Mechagodzilla. There was no glow G84. There was no glow G57. Maybe we'll see them at some point.
Minya's the only one that really surprises me. How we get him.
Yeah, I'm surprised too because Minya sold really quickly relative to the other figures in that wave, to the point where I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like
everybody loves Minya.
Like you guys know that Megalon is in this wave, right?